Joining us this morning for some legal analysis on this case, Marcia Shein. She's the president of the Georgia Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. We have actually been getting several comments here at the station, members of the African American community reaching out to us, telling us how frustrated they are with this case. I imagine at this point we can't be surprised that there are some real hard feelings about this case.
Not at all. In fact, the statistics showed this morning that 51% agreed with the verdict and 49% disagreed. So this is a very polarizing case, very sad case for both parties, I think. I don't think there's any winners here, and I think in the end that what needs to happen is more healing than more protesting and more anger. And this is not the cause. Zimmerman is not the poster boy for the future. We need to do something else.
Let's talk about what happened in this trial. You think that the jury came up with the appropriate verdict based on what they saw?
We have to respect our jury system. O.J. Simpson, Casey Anthony, the Zimmerman case, we have to respect the results. They were there, they heard it, they had time to deliberate over this. They took 16 or more hours. They didn't just make a decision quickly. I respect the jury system, and we all need to do that, even if you don't like the outcome.
Can you point to something and say this is why George Zimmerman was not found guilty?
Well, I think when they changed it to a self-defense defense versus the stand your ground defense, I think there is a reasonable doubt between the evidence the prosecution presented and the evidence that the defense had to determine whether or not he actually did this deliberately, indifferently, or with the intent to harm Trayvon Martin. Now, look, like I said last night, Zimmerman will never be the same. And Trayvon Martin, a young 17-year-old boy, is dead. There's no real satisfaction to the results here, but the jury system works.
What about the jury? This is, to me at least, it was an unusual jury.
It was an unusual jury, but both parties get to pick that jury. The defense and the prosecution have an opportunity to decide who's on that jury. They picked 6 women, very unusual makeup of a jury, but in the end, I think they took their time. I did. I felt the 16 hours was an indication to the public that, look, we're not making light of this. It's serious, and we want to make the right decision. Can
you grade the prosecution and defense? How did they do from your perspective?
Well, I think they both had the same evidence and presented it differently. I think there were maybe too much dramatics in the closing argument for the prosecution, but I said last night again, I'll say it this morning, we can all sit here and play Monday morning quarterback and say what went wrong and what went right. But in the end, I think the results are that the defense put the evidence in front of the jury piece by piece, methodically and carefully, so that the jury really could hear what happened and made the decision only that there was reasonable doubt that he did not defend himself properly.
What has to happen next? What will likely happen next?
I hope, and this is all I can hope for, and all criminal defense lawyers see both sides, that the people of both sides of this become clear-headed and realize that this is just the start of an educational process. We need to change the Neighborhood Watch program and tell people that this is watching, not pursuing, not confronting. Don't carry firearms, carry pepper spray. Learn how to engage a situation where you're on the Neighborhood Watch program. And then for young men like Trayvon Martin, he wasn't doing anything wrong. He just needs to be aware of where he is and what's going on. He should keep going also. Both parties should never have engaged in any kind of confrontation.
For George Zimmerman, there could be a civil case.
Yes, I expect a civil case for monetary damages anyway. I am disappointed if the federal government proceeds with a civil rights violation. Now, the NAACP came out this morning and are going to try to push publicly for that type of result. But I don't think that's the answer to the problem. I think the bigger problem is there's too many African Americans getting arrested, too many African Americans going to jail too long, and that we need to look at the bigger picture and not make this case the only case we focus on for what the real problems are.
All right. Marcia Shein, president of the Georgia Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, we do appreciate your expertise this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.